very high quality candidates fighting against each other, but Kerryn Phelps just was right at the end, got the votes that might count, because of course if it does get any closer, we're going to go to a total recount. And in fact, I'd like to know from Antony, what are the preconditions for a total recount where they go through absolutely everything? The Prime Minister said it was about 100 votes. Is that your understanding, Antony?
Recounts are requested, but the Commission's rules are that if the result is under 100 votes, they automatically do a recount, and that's the current plan. And whether it will come down to under 100 or not, I'm not sure. But I think the one thing to say is that the votes are going to be... The recounts are rare in Australia because every vote is counted at least 3 times before the end of the count. It's counted on the night. It's counted again Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the days after the election, and it's counted again when preferences are formally distributed. So it's unusual to get so many errors that by the end of the count you're justified to have a recount. But the general rule is if it's under 100, they automatically do a recount.
Now, Antony, you were also saying something to me earlier before we actually came on, that you think that there were some issues with Bondi and Bellevue Hill areas of counting. What's your intel on that?
Oh, it's just that a few people have pointed out that there's a preference count, that Kerryn Phelps was getting about 80% of preferences in most polling places, and in those 2 polling places, particularly the Bondi Beach one, she's only got about 50%, and that looks like perhaps someone doing the count, they've just tallied the preferences incorrectly. That can happen. The people trying to do this on election night, they're day labour, they don't really know much about the electoral process, they're trained to carry out a set of rules, and sometimes they make mistakes in doing it. But that's why all the votes are recounted again on the Monday and Tuesday by more professional staff. So if there is any error in those individual polling places, that will be spotted. The other thing to say is there were 16 candidates. The staff do their best to spot informal votes, but if someone's gone 1 to 16 and about number 10 doubled up a number, most staff on election night wouldn't spot that. That'll be spotted afterwards. So there'll be some adjustments as the figures are all recounted. But there was one, that said Bondi Beach, I think, was mentioned. I think Bellevue Hill looks a bit funny as well. That will be spotted in the next day or 2 and corrected. And that may counteract the trend in the postal votes to come. But this just shows it is a close result, and basically, if the closer it gets, the more we'll be waiting for 2 weeks to the formal distribution of preferences.